everyone, it's Alyssa. If you watch this YouTube channel regularly, then you know that I'm fond of giving authors unhelpful advice. You may be wondering how I got to be so good at giving unhelpful advice. Well, the secret lies in the fact that as an author, I've received my share of unhelpful advice. Usually this is from well-meaning folk who don't really know what they're talking about and think that what they're saying will actually help me out. Many years ago, when I was still an unpublished writer, I threw this book across my bedroom into the wall. I don't remember exactly what it was in the craft of writing science fiction that sells by Ben Bova that set me off. I do remember coming to the conclusion that Ben Bova had probably never had to wash a sink full of dishes, sweep the kitchen floor, or probably even cook a dinner for himself. He probably didn't work 2 jobs to pay the rent. In any case, what he had to say annoyed me so much that I flung this book across the room. Unfortunately, when someone gives you unhelpful advice in a way that they think is helping you, you can't fling them across the room into a wall. I mean, you could, but you might get arrested. So here, in no particular order, is some of the unhelpful advice I've received from well-meaning people. You should get the New York Times to review your book. Look, every author out there would love to have their book reviewed in the New York Times. The fact of the matter is, it's probably not going to happen. There isn't a set number of books that the New York Times Book Review reviews each year, but in general, less than 1,500 books a year get reviewed in the New York Times. Now that might still sound like a lot of books, but keep in mind, over 300,000 books are traditionally published each year. So while you do have a better chance of getting your book reviewed in the New York Times than, say, winning the lottery, it's not that great a chance. I should also note that if you are traditionally published, it isn't usually the author that goes and solicits book reviews from publications. This is usually the job of the publisher, a publicist there, who will reach out to the different review publications. This spring, I was at an author event, and one of the attendees told me that I should go on a national TV talk show. I've actually heard this advice before. Again, authors would love to appear on a national TV talk show. We actually really like talking about ourselves. And if that means people will buy our books, even better. But here's a fun fact. It's pretty difficult to get on a national TV talk show. You will have a better shot if you've written a nonfiction book, particularly one on a controversial subject or something that's a hot topic right now. But in general, getting booked on a national TV talk show is extremely difficult for most authors. Something else that I've been told by well-meaning people who probably don't think before they speak is you should write the next Harry Potter. Hey, I think we'd all like to write the next Harry Potter. Even J.K. Rowling would like to write the next Harry Potter. We hope that any book we write will be as successful, or 10% as successful as the Harry Potter books. But wanting to do that and actually doing that are 2 different things. If it was that easy, a lot of people would have written the next Harry Potter by now. Here's another tip that I've received. You should use social media. Well, I do use social media, but the people that say this have usually read some newspaper article or magazine article that makes it sound, if you start a Twitter account or an Instagram account or a YouTube account, that you will be suddenly, instantly famous, that you'll sell thousands and thousands of copies of your books. They seem a little bit baffled about social media and what it is and how it works. Look, every author out there would love to be the next Alex from Target, but we can't make this happen. We can only hope. Another piece of advice that I've heard more than once at different book signings and panels and things like that is from an attendee who says something along the lines of, you should write a book about me, or you should write a book about my sister, or you should write a book about this guy that I knew this one time. Apparently everybody's under the impression that authors don't have enough ideas for books and are desperate for any idea they can lay their hands on, no matter how not interesting an idea it might be. As you know from watching last week's video, I have plenty of ideas, so many that I'm willing to share them freely with you. But if you, book signing attendee, have a story that's so interesting that somebody should write a book about it, then you should be the person that writes that book. And if you don't write and still want someone to write your book, then maybe you should look into hiring a ghostwriter. That's what they do. They get paid good money to do this. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Alyssa Grasso. I'm an awkward author who's received a lot of unhelpful advice, and sometimes I like to share some unhelpful advice with you as well. My feline production assistant Autumn is under the weather this week, so if you want to send some get well soon thoughts her way, that would be much appreciated. Thank you everyone. Have a great week. I will see you next week.